My name is Frank. I'm 70 years old. I'm going to tell you a story from my life about how I stopped blindly trusting my doctors and found what actually helped my blood pressure. I'm not giving medical advice, I'm just sharing what happened to me. But if you or someone you love struggles with blood pressure, maybe this story will change your life. It changed mine. 5 years ago, I was the perfect patient. I did everything my doctors told me. I took the pills they prescribed. I went to every appointment. I had all the tests. I was obedient. I believed they knew best. But my blood pressure never got better. I'd wake up in the morning, 160 over 100. In the evening, 155 over 95. I'd take my meds. It would drop to 140. Then a few hours later, right back up. I felt like I was on a roller coaster. My doctor said, "Frank, it's your age. Your blood vessels are getting stiff. There's nothing we can do about it." And I believed them. I thought, well, this is it. My life is now pills, a blood pressure monitor, and fear. I was scared of a stroke, scared of a heart attack, scared that one morning I just wouldn't wake up. And let me tell you, that's a terrible way to live. But the strangest thing wasn't the numbers on the monitor. The strangest thing was that I felt bad. Even when the pills brought my pressure down, I felt broken. Dizziness, weakness, ringing in my ears. Sometimes I'd stand up from my chair and the world would spin. I told my doctors, I don't feel well. They said, your blood pressure is normal. You're fine. Keep taking your medication. And I thought, if everything is fine, why do I feel like I'm falling apart? I started to have doubts. Maybe this was just aging? Maybe it was normal to feel tired and broken at 65? I almost gave up. But then something happened that changed everything. I was sitting in the park, just sitting on a bench looking at the water. An older man sat down next to me. We started talking. He was older than me, maybe 10 years. He looked energetic, lively, full of life. We talked about the weather, about grandchildren. Then he said, "Frank, I can see you're tired. Is something wrong?" I told him about my blood pressure, about the pills, about how nothing seemed to work. He looked at me and said something I've never forgotten. "Frank, are you sure your doctors know everything about your body? They only see the numbers on the paper. But you feel. You live in that body. Sometimes you need to listen to yourself, not just the prescriptions." I paused. No one had ever said that to me. That day, I decided to try something. I didn't stop taking my pills. I'm not stupid. But I started listening to my body. I started noticing when my pressure went up. What happened an hour before? What had I eaten? What had I been doing? I noticed something strange. When I was stressed, my pressure spiked. When I sat in silence and just breathed, it dropped. I noticed that salty food raised my pressure. I used to think my doctor was just being careful, but I decided to test it. I cut back on salt, and my pressure got steadier. After a week, I could see the difference. I started taking walks, 20 minutes a day. Not running, not pushing myself, just walking. And you know what? My pressure started to change. Not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly, step by step, it became more stable. I realized something important. My doctors weren't wrong about the diagnosis. My blood pressure really was high. They were wrong about something else. They were treating me like an average patient, like a statistic, like a number on a page. But I wasn't a number. I was a person. I was taking pills, but I wasn't changing my lifestyle. I was waiting for the pill to do all the work. Meanwhile, my body kept running the same way. I wasn't listening to it. I didn't know its signals. That was my biggest mistake. And honestly, it was the mistake of many doctors. They write a prescription and send you home. They don't explain that the pill alone won't fix it. You have to change your habits, your diet, your life. I don't blame them. They're human too. They do their job. But I realized I had to take responsibility for myself. I'm not saying I stopped taking pills. No, I still take them. But now, half the dose I used to need. Here's what actually helped me. 1. Daily walks, 30 minutes a day in any weather.
2. Breathing exercises. 5 minutes in the morning and evening. Deep breath in, slow breath out. 3. Low sodium diet. I cut out salt almost completely. Replaced it with herbs and spices. 4. Better sleep. I stopped staying up past midnight. I sleep 7 to 8 hours now. 5. Questioning everything. I stopped blindly following every prescription. I started asking questions, researching alternatives. And you know what? After 3 months, my blood pressure stabilized. Now it's around 130/80. No spikes, no dizziness, no fear. I'm not saying it was easy. It was hard, especially cutting out salt. I loved salty foods. It was hard to force myself to walk when it was raining. But I kept thinking about what I wanted. I want to live. I want to see my grandchildren grow up. I want to make it to 80 and dance at my granddaughter's wedding. That was my motivation. And I found support. My wife started walking with me. We cooked low-salt meals together. We did the breathing exercises together. It's easier when you're not alone. What did I learn over these years? Doctors are helpers. They're not magicians. They can't fix you if you don't participate in the process. Pills are a tool, but they're not the solution. The solution is in your hands, in your habits, in your diet, in your sleep, in your ability to listen to yourself. I stopped being a passive patient. I became a partner to my doctors. I ask questions. I do my own research. I explore. And now I feel better than I did at 60. If you're watching this, I want to say one thing. Don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to find your own path. Pills won't make you healthy. They can help, but health is a lifestyle. I'm not telling you to stop your medication. Don't do that. But start paying attention to yourself. Start noticing what helps you. Start taking small steps every day. Because sometimes, just sometimes, your doctor might be wrong. But your body, it's never wrong.